Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Jack OATz to go. You either know or you don't. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel once again. Appreciate the love and support you guys constantly give me. Today, I wanted to talk about a possibility that we could get from the clipod and what we can expect. So, uh, I have up here just a small picture from a book that I just got that I will later reveal once the next book comes in, so I can reveal them together. But I mean, essentially, this book has just like the answers essentially to anything Kabbalistic almost. So I'm flipping through it, and I come across this archdemons things, and as you can read here, it just describes the hierarchy. However, it comes from three of the more prominent people that philosophize this whole thing, right? Crowley, Mathers, and Wade. So I just want to run through like which one we're more than likely using. It's more than likely Crowley, and we can tell that just because if we start at the bottom here where it says Malkut, under Sephira, under the Sephira column, weight doesn't have one for Malkut, which is usually Nama. So, given that we just saw Nama, we can probably take weight off the list as a reference here. For the other ones, we do have Nama for both Crowley and Mathers. However, Mathers does spell Nama in a different way. So, I would assume that we probably just won't be using Mathers either. However, I've essentially been using Mathers Clipbot for this whole thing. But taking a look at Crowley's from the bottom up, we have Nama and Lilith, which we just got. The next one, like I've been saying, will be Adremelech. For Netzach, they have Asmodai, where I had Ball coming out after Adremelech. So if you guys remember the lore in Asmodai that I gave you, Asmodai is the result of Lilith and Adremelech having sex. Just it's their kid. And in some philosophies they have it between Nama and Adremelech. It's whatever. One of them had a baby with them, and it became Asmodai or Asmodeus, either one. And then we have Belphegor, just straight across the board as Tiferet, which is already known on this channel because Belphegor has been like the staple here. However, I did find out through this book, through another excerpt about Eshet, who I believe might be Magicula in this story. Belphegor is actually the child of Eshet and Lucifuge. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and Lucifuge. So, and something actually pretty interesting as well is they have it listed as that, and they also say or Belphegor, or as you see here, it's Kiowa, is the combination, the fusion of Eshet and Samael. So I found that very interesting that they put it like that. But just a little tidbit. And then going up for Geburah would be Osteroth. But that's not where Osteroth usually is. If you look at Mathers and Weights, Osteroth is correspondent to Chesed, which is where I've had him, which means he would be part of the three pillars that are holding up the underworld, Satan and Moloch. But here in Crowley's, Osteroth is not that one. But it does make more sense to have him corresponding to Geburah, knowing Osteroth's background as having an extreme sense of justice, which is what the Sephir of Geburah is. So that makes sense. So then we move up to Chesed, where they have Lucifuge. And as you see here, Osteroth and Lucifuge kind of offset between Mathers and Weight. So this begins our actual supernal triad here, which would end up being Lucifuge correspondent to Chesed, Iset for Bina, which means would actually correspond to being the queen of the Satariel, as I pointed out in some of the previous videos and on Twitter. And makes sense with what we got from this latest chapter, because she does call herself a supreme devil, which means she actually rules over that clip. So there's no mistaking that we are more than likely looking at Crowley's clip art, and my clip art has been one off this entire time, starting from the Supernal Triad. So, but if we look at Mathers and Waite, they don't have Eset up there at all. So the fact that we have a character like Magicula and Eset is known as the Queen of the Cetariel, and the Cetariel is part of the Supernal Triad, we can most definitely assume that this is what's happening. And Eset is actually ranked higher than Lucifero in this case. And then what that leaves is, instead of having Beelzebub / Belial, like I've been saying, Xenon's devil in Crowley's case would have to be Samael, which is very interesting because Samael and Adremelik have been interchangeable when we look at Mathers and Waite's clip art. However, in this one, they are two separate things, which means that they are using the fallen version of that angel, the pure fallen version of the angel. Which makes sense because now we have the I can't say the last names, the Rollocases, the Rolloclauses, the Fitterol and Longrease's family with the spatial mages. Remember, some of their spells have the verbiage of like fallen angel wing beat and all that good stuff, right? And this makes sense with Samael, but Samael would be the higher ranking. This would be taking the place of Belial, Beelzebub, in my past theories. So Xenon might have an actual fallen angel instead of just a supreme devil, and this could prove to be very special. And just for reference, these devils that are listed before are not actually listed as like fallen angels for the most part. Eset is one of the sisters of Lilith and Nama. They were some of the first creations of God as far as humans, and then they fell and became more perverted and became devils, but they were never angels. Adremelik, like I said, with Mathers and Waite, would be the fallen version of Samael and the name he takes. Remember, these are more so titles that you'll see, but here Crowley lists them as absolutely separate beings, so it cannot be interchangeable. Belphegor, like I said, is the product of a failed human, if you will, and also a devil. And then we have Astaroth, who is actually a fallen goddess or god in some cases. They ended up changing the sex over time. And then Lucifuge is I have the lore in one of my other videos, but Lucifuge Focal is I believe just a devil that ended up getting Lucifer's blessing to govern the hells, and take over like all the paperwork, essentially, pretty much the secretary of hell, if you will. And then, of course, we have Eset, and that's the Queen of Cetariel, and this is, I think this is going to be important moving on. So it looks like our triad is actually correct, and we are using Crowley's and not the more popular Mathers clip art. So I just wanted to put that out there. This is probably going to get really interesting. So if anything's changed about my theories, just replace where I say like Belial, Beelzebub with now Samael, to make sense, because, and I don't think I even mentioned it, I'm just like rushing through this, to be honest. We have the verbiage from Finral, like fallen angel angel wing beat or something like that. And we have Xenon's devil that clearly has like spatial magic to the extreme. So it's very safe to assume that there's some correlation happening there. But yeah, I'll leave it there. This is wildly entertaining to me. This book it's got a lot in there. You guys probably saw my tweet about Mario, Leona, Fuegolian, and Leo, where I just put volcanic fire, solar fire, and astral fire. I think these are the three attributes that we're going to get, and it's from information that I got from this book that I'll probably go into explaining a bit further down the road. But I mean, honestly, we'll probably just end up seeing it very soon. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this kind of clears some things up. It's it just makes things very interesting. With Magicula being there, with Iset being a supreme devil. It's it makes me wonder if this triad is actually family. Because remember, I said Iset in one of the ways to make Belphegor was to mate with either Lucifuge or Samael, and if Xenon has Samael, then those two are pretty much wife and husband. And then if Dante's devil is actually not Luciferion and is actually ends up being Belphegor, like I theorized way back when, then it's very possible that these guys are a triadic family, just like we have with the Zogratis siblings. So that could be part of the reason why they were chosen to host these devils and whatnot. But anyway, that's more into whatever. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys found this informative. I'll be putting more excerpts from this book and the other books that I've recently received onto this channel for information. So just be on the lookout. Thank you, Notification Gang. Always love seeing you guys here first. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below or on Twitter. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay out the way. This is Jackal. So go either know or you don't.